Get out of the house now! The scream echoed through the hallway as sparks burst from the walls. A chandelier exploded overhead. Children cried. Smoke filled the staircase. Servants ran through the darkness trying to find the fuse box. But the fuse box itself was already on fire. And the terrifying part? This family believed they were living in the safest, most modern home in Britain. At the dawn of the 20th century, the world fell in love with invention. Electricity, radiation, modern chemicals, new appliances. Everything promised a better future. But behind the excitement, people were unknowingly bringing death directly into their homes. And tonight, we're uncovering the horrifying truth behind the inventions that poisoned, burned, shocked, and killed the very people who trusted them most. Before we begin, subscribe to the channel and comment below. Which modern invention do you think future generations will fear the most? Because after this story, you may never look at new technology the same way again. 1901. Queen Victoria is dead. A new king sits on the throne, and Britain is racing toward the future faster than ever before. The Edwardian era had begun. Factories roared, cities expanded, technology exploded into everyday life. Suddenly, the impossible became normal. You can light an entire room without candles. You can preserve food for days. You can clean without servants beating carpets outside. To Edwardian families, modern inventions felt magical. The richer you were, the more modern your home became. And people were desperate to prove they belonged to the future. But nobody stopped to ask one critical question. What if these inventions weren't safe? At first, electricity looked like a miracle. One switch, that's all it took. Dark rooms burst into light instantly. Guests gasped in amazement during dinner parties. Look at this place. It's like living in the future. But hidden behind the wallpaper, danger waited. Early electrical wiring was chaotic. Many homes still had old wooden walls stuffed with dry insulation and fabric. Electricians often had little training. Some installations were done by men who barely understood electricity themselves. And then the fires started. A spark inside the wall, a wire overheating beneath the floorboards, a light fixture suddenly exploding without warning. Entire homes burned within minutes. Families woke choking on smoke, while flames swallowed staircases behind them. And firefighters faced a terrifying problem. Water could conduct electricity. Some rescuers were electrocuted trying to save people trapped inside. Imagine surviving the fire, only to die touching the wrong metal railing. The future had arrived, and it was killing people. But electricity wasn't the only hidden danger. Another killer was quietly spreading through Edwardian homes. Asbestos. At the time, it seemed perfect. It resisted fire, handled heat, lasted for years. Manufacturers called it a miracle material. People wore asbestos gloves, asbestos aprons, even asbestos socks. Yes, socks. Parents trusted it. Builders praised it. Companies sold it everywhere. But inside those tiny fibers was death. Every breath released microscopic particles into the lungs. Slowly, silently. Years later, victims developed horrific illnesses. Their lungs hardened. Breathing became agony. Some suffocated slowly over months. And the cruelest part, most never understood what was killing them. Imagine decorating your beautiful new home, only for the walls themselves to poison your family. Then came one of the most disturbing obsessions of the Edwardian age, radiation. When scientists first discovered radium, people were fascinated. It glowed mysteriously in the dark. And instead of fearing it, they celebrated it. Companies rushed to put radioactive materials into everyday products. Face creams, chocolate, medicine, even toothpaste. Advertisements promised energy, beauty, and health. Feel stronger, look younger, boost vitality. People brushed radioactive chemicals directly onto their teeth every morning. Can you imagine that? One businessman reportedly drank radioactive water daily because he believed it improved his health. Instead, his body slowly collapsed from the inside. His bones weakened, his jaw deteriorated. Radiation poisoned him piece by piece. But companies kept selling the products. Why? Because fear hurts profit. And back then, nobody fully understood the horror they were unleashing. Ironically, the people most exposed to these dangers weren't always the wealthy homeowners. It was the servants. Maids handled dangerous cleaning chemicals daily. Cooks worked beside faulty gas lines and unstable electrical ovens. Housekeepers cleaned insulation materials without protection. If something exploded, they were closest. If a fire broke out, they stayed behind trying to save the household. And many injuries were hidden from the public. Servants could be replaced. Reputation mattered more. Some families didn't want newspapers reporting accidents inside their perfect modern homes. So deaths were quietly ignored. History remembered the inventions, but often forgot the victims. At first, people laughed off the accidents. Oh, it's just part of progress. But eventually, the tragedies became impossible to ignore. Children poisoned, homes destroyed, workers dying young, families developing mysterious illnesses years later. Doctors began connecting the dots. Scientists slowly realized the horrifying truth. Many of the products transforming modern life were never properly tested. Society had fallen in love with innovation faster than it could understand the consequences. And suddenly, the dream of the modern home became something darker, a beautiful trap. As deaths increased, governments finally stepped in. Electrical regulations improved. Dangerous materials were investigated. Safety testing became stricter. Some products disappeared completely. Others stayed in homes for decades. Even today, old buildings still contain asbestos, hidden behind walls and ceilings. The ghosts of Edwardian innovation never fully vanished. In some ways, we are still living with their mistakes. The Edwardians believed technology would save them. Instead, many welcomed invisible killers directly into their homes. And maybe that's the most terrifying lesson of all, because every generation believes its inventions are safe, until one day they discover the cost. So the next time a brand new technology promises to change your life, ask yourself, what dangers haven't we discovered yet? If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more dark history documentaries uncovering the hidden dangers of the past. And comment below, which invention from history shocks you the most? Because trust me, the deeper we dig into the past, the darker it gets.